What's up YouTube? I'm SlakingRetaliation and you might hear something different. And you may ask, what the hell's different? SlakingRetaliation? Well, can you not hear it already? Can you not feel it in your ears? Obviously what's different is my microphone. Alright, this video is a doozy. I've searched everywhere for this video, not to actually watch it, but to actually see if there's another video like this, and I have not found one video that I have found a video that talks about entry hazards as a whole, but this is the complete guide to entry hazards. What they are, why the hell would you need them, which Pokemon are the best entry hazards, just because they have stealth rocks, just because they can use spikes doesn't mean they are an entry hazard setter. Anything that has that can be an entry hazard setter, but I'm going to tell you the best ones for the Ubers tier, for the OU tier, and last but certainly not least, the best tier, UU. And this video will be explaining the sets of those particular Pokemon, basically the standard set or the set I run. You can pick whatever set you want. You can even take the Pokemon I tell you and make your own entry hazard set. As I've said plenty of times before, Pokemon is a game where you put your creativity into it. Just like making YouTube videos, you put your talent and creativity in a video. It's exactly like a Pokemon set. You take your creativity and put it in your set. So, welcome to the complete guide of entry hazards. For some of you, this video will basically be a review of things you already know, especially for the entry hazards part of the thing. What actually are entry hazards, like stealth rocks and stuff like that, the moves. You already know everything. So this is basically a brush up for you. So pat yourself on the back for knowing that shit. You did well. Entry hazards. What are entry hazards? A lot of people, when they're making a team, some people go right away, I'm gonna put an entry hazard on my team. I'm gonna make a physical sweeper. I'm gonna take my favorite Pokemon, Mudkip, and I'm gonna make him a physical sweeper. And I'm gonna get my freaking and all that shit. They already have their everything planned out. But for some other people, they make an hyper offensive team, they make a balanced team, basically any team they want, but they neglect to even put an entry hazard setter or an entry hazard remover, although I will not delve into the entry spin blockers or stuff like that. Entry hazards, what are they? Entry hazards are obviously moves. There's different type of entry hazards, as some of you already know. There's basically 4 main entry hazards. I'll explain them very briefly, since this is a Pokemon video about the entry hazard setters, not actually entry hazards. You don't need to explain the meta of entry hazards. You don't need to explain how to use entry hazards. You should already know how to use entry hazards. You click a button and the entry hazards go onto the opponent's field. Let's start off with Stealth Rock. Stealth Rock is the main entry hazard for every single tier. You will not see an entry hazard used more often than Stealth Rock. Unless you're in the highest ranked, you probably see a variety of entry hazards. Probably a Pokemon on a team that's basically dedicated to setting up entry hazards. Sticky Web is another entry hazard. This entry hazard is widely regarded as an entry hazard that's never used. I've played over, how can I put this? I've played over 250 Pokemon Showdown. And you want to know something that's funny? I have not seen one Pokemon, like a Garvantula, or just that main Pokemon that all it does is basically its job is to set up Sticky Web. I've not seen one Sticky Web Pokemon actually used Sticky Web. I've not seen one. And I've been top 500 in a few of the tiers. I've been top 500 in Ubers, and I've been top 500 in OU. So I've been around, and I have not seen sticky web set up on me once. Then we go into toxic spikes. Spikes are the second coming of stealth rock. Spikes, man. That's my homeboy, my home dog. You don't see people set up spikes as much. You see like the combo of stealth rocks, and as you hear me bang my elbow on the desk, that actually really hurt. But spikes and stealth rocks go hand in hand. Some Pokemon know how to use both moves. So you see 2 moves on that Pokemon dedicated to setting up spikes and stealth rocks. Toxic spikes and spikes, the only difference is toxic spikes you set up and it poisons grounded Pokemon. Spikes you set up, it damages incoming Pokemon. So that's the main 4 entry hazards. Entry hazards sets. So basically Pokemon that set up entry hazards. Let's go into this. This is a complete guide and I want nothing more than to show you actual sets. So this is the Uber tier. Deoxys Defense. The most used, or basically all he does, or all the Pokemon does, is set up entry hazards. This set you see right here is basically what you get. This is the standard set, the specially defensive set to beat special attackers. I mean, its special defense is absolutely incredible, although its health is a little bit to be desired of. This is the set I'd recommend. I'll keep the HP at 252. But instead of putting all my other EVs into special defense, I'd change its nature to bold. That's not bold. I'd change its nature to bold. And I would put the rest of the EVs in defense. Now, why would you do this? I mean, what kind of Deoxys defense? What kind of wall in the Uber tier? What can wall basically every single physical attacker in the Uber's tier? And that is the set I'd run with Deoxys. Skill swap. This is the most standard set you'd ever see. Is skill swap Deoxys with Stealth Rock, maybe Spikes, Toxic, or Cover. This is basically a taunt bait right here. You get taunted, you have to swap. Skill swap, what it does is it actually changes its ability. So its ability right here, pressure, with the other Pokemon. So if you have like a Sableye in the Uber's tier, you can skill swap it on the first turn, assuming that you send out your Deoxys and he sends out, or she sends out his Sableye. You can skill swap it because Mega Sableye's ability is Magic Bounce, which bounces any status move or entry hazard back onto this Pokemon right here. And Toxic wears down special attackers. It wears down any Pokemon that doesn't have a healing move. If they stay in, they're obviously going to die eventually because Toxic stacks up. And that's basically the main damage it does. That's all the damage you can do is Toxic. And then Recover is this recovery. And this is the set, the most standard set for Deoxys. This is what you see time and time again in the Uber's tier if you're an Uber's player. Next we have Groudon. Hands down the best entry hazard setter in every single tier. It's the best setter. This entry hazard setter can, for one, do its job, which is support its team. With this set, it's basically a sweeper with that entry hazard role as a side note. But this can do everything. This can set up, this can sweep, this can check, this can counter, since its defense as a primal Pokemon is absolutely outstanding. I mean, look at that. And the set I run with this is actually a set right here. This is actually the set I'd run with this Groudon. Because you can take damage, but you can also deal damage. There's no point of giving Groudon speed. I don't know why you give it speed and make it jolly or something like that. There's no point. Just it has good base HP, so why don't you give it HP so it can tank more things? Unless it's a water move, which, as you know, Groudon Primal is a fire/ground Pokemon, so that's 4 times weakness to water. So let me just explain this set. This set, you set up Stealth Rocks. When you switch into a Pokemon that Groudon checks completely, set up Stealth Rocks. If a Pokemon that can't really fight Groudon comes in, like a frail Pokemon, or a Pokemon that just wants you to swap, like baits you to swap, then you can also set up Swords Dance. And you're ready to sweep the team. I mean, he has 504 attack without any boost. This is the best entry hazard. I'm going to say this a lot, but this is the best entry hazard setter in all of Pokemon. And then you have Fire Punch and whatever the hell you pronounce this move, P-Blades. I'm going to call it P-Blades as your go-to stab moves, although you may want to give it another move, and you can actually make this not even a Stealth Rock user, just a full-on sweeper. And this is the best entry hazard setter in the entire game. Last but not least, we have Dialga. His role is more up in the air. Dialga can be a good choice specs user. He can be a good wall, a special defense wall. He can be a defense wall, since he has good HP, and he has a good special defense and good defense. He also has good base attack and special attack. You can still deal damage and not be like freaking Chansey, who always relies on Seismic Toss. And this set is a phaser and an entry hazard setter. So you rely on your, again, just like Groudon, you rely on your good base special attack. Although Groudon already has investment into attack, but you rely on your good base special attack, and I would recommend this. This is a set I would recommend. Calm Nature, so you can take any kind of fairy attack, even though it's neutral on Dialga, but you can take any kind of fairy special attack, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, and you can also dish out attack because its base special attack is outstanding. So it's not just a suicide lead, or you set up your entry hazard and die. No, you don't do that. You set up your thing, then you maybe want to dish out some attack on the switch, you maybe want to roar, maybe get a better matchup, and so you can keep on dishing it out attack. Or you just may want to Draco Meteor and just destroy whatever comes in. And this is pretty much like every set, I guess. The only good thing about Dialga is this has good stats, obviously, and it can also phase for you, so it can have that dual role on your team. Alright, let's move on to the OU tier. This is a summary of like the 6 Pokemon entry hazard setters in the OU tier. There's so many entry hazard setters you can use in the OU tier. You can use UU entry hazard setters. Your options are wide open, unlike the Ubers tier, where using a lower tier hazard setter, I'm kind of losing my voice here, I'm gonna drink some water here, give me a second, where you wouldn't put a lower tier entry hazard setter because it would not survive the legendary Pokemon spam that is the Ubers tier. Anyways, enough about the rambling about that. Let's go into Ferrothorn. This set's basically standard. You won't get much deviation with this set. This is the set. This is the standard Ferrothorn set. It acts as a defense wall, but it also acts as a Stealth Rock user. Because you can Leech Seed, you can protect to get your health back, and also try to predict if they have a fire move, since, as you know, Ferrothorn is grass and steel. Gyro Ball is your main attacking move. It does quite a bit of damage, actually. I think its attack is like 150 or 120 based on the speed of the other Pokemon. If they're a fast-ass Pokemon, you're going to do some hefty damage with Ferrothorn's Gyro Ball, even if it has no attack investment. And that's basically all about the set. Next we have Excadrill. Excadrill, the set you want on your Excadrill can be anything. It can be what it says right here, a fast physical sweeper, or you can make it a bulky physical sweeper with Stealth Rock as its entry hazard move. The set I recommend, I love both types of escadrilles. I love the bulky escadrille with like full HP, basically like that, although it would be a bit different. Like make it live some fairy attacks. The speed or bulkiness is all team specific. You can make it whatever you want. I honestly can't tell you what set I use because I use both of them. And you have your Earthquake, Rapid Spin. It's a spin blocker. It's probably the best spin blocker in the OU tier other than Starmie. Although Starmie versus Excadrill, Starmie is always going to win, of course. Then you have your Ironhead for fairies. Obviously he's a steel and ground type. Then you have your Earthquake as your standard ban move after you set up your Stealth Rocks. And yeah, the set, as like I said before, I can't really tell you what set I use. I guess you can just do the standard Smogon set if you want, or you can go to a more unique set that you want to do. I don't know, this is, oh yeah, oops, this is like kind of a set I use. I don't know what that make you live, but probably be something. And that's basically Excadrill set. Then we move on to Garchomp, and Garchomp, as we all know, this is a Rocky Helmet, just like Ferrothorn is a Rocky Helmet user. Garchomp is a Rocky Helmet user. Just like Ferrothorn has Iron Barbs, Garchomp has Rough Skin. And it's basically the same as Ferrothorn. You set up your Stealth Rocks when you lead, and then you can make it whatever you want. The kind of set I use is like a speed set. I don't know which one I do. I don't know if it'd be Naive or the other one where it lowers your defense instead of your special defense, but I do that so you can still have that Fire Blast. Something like this. That's kind of a set I use, just so you can have a bit 1% extra damage on your Fire Blast to take out a Ferrothorn. His special attack is a bit, well, not a bit, it's a lot less than its attack, but as you all know, you can't take for granted a Fire Blast on a Ferrothorn. It's still going to do a shitload of damage, and it will probably make you switch after. Then we go to Klefki. Klefki. You see this guy all the time in OU. He's a great little Pokemon. You see him in Ubers too sometimes. He's a great Ubers Pokemon. One of the better OU Pokemon that can be used in the Ubers tier. Even though stats are trash, but you can do anything. And this is the set I run. It's kind of a trolley set, but you know, gimmicky is always best, as you all know from me. The set I run is obviously not this set. I just did that to get all the stats up. I run a special defense set. Where is it? Where's Calm? Gotta be calm. Am I blind? I think I'm blind. Oh, there we go. So this is the set I run. Where would I put this for? It doesn't really matter. You can put it anywhere. I'll probably put it in defense. And this is the set I use. I'd probably make its gender female. Mostly you put it, instead of random, you put it female. Because apparently this game likes to make more male Pokemon than actually female Pokemon. Because I found myself spamming Attract a lot in matches since there's so many male Pokemon apparently. I mean, this is kind of how I play it. First I thought it was Thunder Wave. If the Pokemon is a ground type and is male, I use Attract. Then when he gets immobilized, probably going to switch after. So then I set up my spikes. Then I Thunder Wave whatever comes in. And then I switch. He'll probably try to take me out. He probably won't. But at least I got one layer of spikes up. And then when there's no threat to Klefki, or when I can just spam spikes after that and get my full layers up, then I do that. And that's kind of how I play Klefki. And that's all you need to know. Then we have Skymarie. Done. The standard set, there's nothing better. You can do so many things with this set. Whirlwind acts as a phaser. You see a lot of phasers who use Stealth Rocks. It's a really good combination. Then we have Brave Bird as his main attack. It's a pretty detrimental to Skymarie's health though. And then we have Roost. Roost, as you all know, heals you. If you don't know that, you may want to brush up on your moves. And that's basically all for Skyrim. Just again, it's a lead Pokemon. You set up your Stealth Rocks when you make Skyrim lead. And that's all you should know. It's a defense wall, obviously. One of the better defense walls in the OU tier. And then we have a highly underrated, and frankly, why isn't it used? Tyranitar is a great Stealth Rock user. Tyranitar can set up Stealth Rocks, and it can also pack a punch, just like Pokemon like Excadrill or Garchomp, if you invest into attack. But I give Excadrill and Tyranitar Life Orb to boost their attack, and with Tyranitar it gives a little bit of extra boost to its Fire Blast. Makes it a bit more spicy. Stone Edge. This is another kind of, I wouldn't lead with this Pokemon. I'd wait till its fighting sets are removed before I stuff my Stealth Rocks, but you can lead with it. There's nothing wrong with leading with Tyranitar. But like I was about to say, Stone Edge is its primary move. You spam this all the time, even though it has no accuracy. Apparently it's actually called Stone Miss. And this actually corrupted this part of the video. I don't know why, but this is the set I'd learned with Tyranitar. I talked for 3 minutes about Tyranitar in my other video, so I kind of wanted to short it down. Obviously you have your Stone Miss. Do so many things with your Stone Miss. You miss a lot of things, more than you probably hit. You'd be surprised. If you have luck like me. And you have Crunch as your dark move. So you have basically your stab moves, and you have Fire Blast to hit Ferrothorn. And that's pretty much it about Tyranitar. He's a good, underrated Stealth Rocks user in the OU tier. And finally, we're at the UU tier. A lot of tier you guys been waiting for pretty much a while. But as you can see, I've already made or set up my Infernape set, because this is the set off of Smogon. There's no other better set than this set for a mixed attacking Infernape with Stealth Rock as an entry hazard move. You can even put Counter as its move. You can run so many different sets with Infernape. Infernape is a very versatile Pokemon, and with the item it has on right now, which is Focus Sash, another item you want to or think about putting on it is Life Orb, to get extra damage on the Mach Punch and its strong special attack, since you're max investing into special attack. It has Mach Punch, Overheat, Stealth Rock, Grass Knot to sum it up, and it's a pretty decent mixed attacker with Stealth Rock. You can also remove this and just make it a full mixed attacker, but this is a entry hazard setter video, so every single set it's gonna have an entry hazard move. Now we go into Fortress. He is a versatile Pokemon. Not as versatile as Infernape, but he is pretty versatile. You can make a bunch of different sets with Fortress. Fortress is not just that standard Stealth Rock setter. You can make many different sets with Fortress. And the set I usually run is Explosion with No More Gem. With this EVs I'd put on him is like basically what it shows you right here. There's really no other better set for this kind of Fortress. You can make like a bulky one, but you're not gonna really sponge a lot of hits, especially with its 4 times weakness to 5. It's not its main niche, basically. Its main niche is to set up entry hazards, and this is the set you would normally run with Fortress. Double entry hazards. It's like a combination. You'll see this a lot. Most Pokemon that can know both will use both. So 2 move slots will be occupied by these 2 moves, whether it be Toxic Spikes in case it knows Toxic Spikes, or Stealth Rock. And when this is close to dying, just go kaboom. Garvantula, a vastly underrated entry hazard setter, just like Tyranitar. Similar to Infernape, the set I run is a max speed Garvantula. I give it Timid Nature, so that just basically ups its speed again. And then I just go for either max HP, which isn't really reliable with the Focus Sash set. So you probably just put all your extra EVs into special attack, and there's no point in making this a physical attacker, since I doubt it has good physical moves. I've never checked its physical move pool over because I frankly never have made a physical variant of this Gargantuan, but its main niche is a suicide lead, set up sticky webs, that's its job done. Shuckle. Shuckle, you'll see this in all tiers that you can use Shuckle in. Shuckle can be used in all tiers, even the Ubers tier, although I highly disregard using this in Ubers. But this is a set I found that is very useful over the many months of playing in the UU tier, which I did, but I never made a series about because, frankly, the UU tier back then was garbage. But anyways, as you can see, you're not gonna outspeed much, you're not gonna kill much, and you're not gonna live much. The only bulked thing you can basically take is any defensive or special defensive attacks. Plus you have sturdy. Some people like to run contrary, but I don't know why you run contrary. It's contrary to sturdy. And this is the set I'd run. Sticky web, another dual like entry hazard setter. Sticky web, and you have stealth rocks, and normally like I trap them in, I toxic, I stealth rock, and then I sticky web. Or this is another set you can do. This rest and chesto berry, resto chesto. And then you infestation, you toxic, you stealth rocks, and then you rest off all the damage. And that's basically it for Shuckle. Once again, the set that I used prior to this is sticky web. What I'd suggest is first you go for the sticky web, then they send something in that can kill Shuckle, you swap out, you send something that can kill that Pokemon, then you predict that switch, then you go back into Shuckle, and then you infestation whenever comes in, you toxic, and then you can set up all your moves. That's how this Pokemon works. But you wouldn't use Resto or Chesto Berry on this Shuckle, use the leftovers. The Resto Chesto one is okay. It's not really like a standard moveset. This is more of the... It's a variant of the standard set, just with infestation. So you can trap other Pokemon in and just do whatever you want with them. Alright, Nidoqueen, another Pokemon that its support role is very underutilized. Normally you would see this as Choice Spect, Choice Band, all the choice items plus Life Orb. You want to see this as like some bulky set, you want to see this as some support set like I have here. But Nidoqueen, very good and strong Pokemon to lead with because it has great all-around stats. Its stats in some areas are much to be desired of, like a special attack stat. Like it's like a bunch of Pokemon I've already stated acts as a check to other Pokemon, and it plays a dual role, so it's an entry hazard setter and the check. Last but certainly not least, we have Swampert. The honorable mentions for this tier, by the way, there's so many entry hazard setters in the UU tier. You can bring entry hazard setters from the lower tiers up, and you can mention those, but some of the other ones were Metagross, Tentacruel, Empoleon, Donphan. It's basically the summarizing any other setup Pokemon I can put on the last thing, but I decided to showcase Swampert because Swampert is not really a Stealth Rock user. You don't really see too many Mega Swamperts with Stealth Rock, and there's a reason for that. Its primary role as a Mega Pokemon is to sweep other teams. That's why its ability is Swift Swim when it evolves to sweep other teams. That's why most of them carry a Rain Dance, or most of them are on a Rain Dance team. But you can also make quite an interesting set, as I've made here. I've never really seen someone run this set, but I've seen it in other people's battles where you see a Swampert set up Rain Dance and Stealth Rocks. It has its way with the other team that has no answer for Swampert because it's a very versatile Pokemon. It's also very powerful. The only reason it's stuck in the UU tier is that there's frankly better water Pokemon in the OU tier. But the set I run is what it gives you. The Smogon set, which is Adamant and max speed, max attack. Its attack is relatively decent compared to Ubers or other OU attackers. You will not be able to outsweep a team in OU unless it has no answer to Swampert. Waterfall and Earthquake is its main attacks. As you can see, it's two stab moves. Most likely you'd want another coverage move, but that move slot is filled by Stealth Rocks or Rain Dance. And that's pretty much it. Once again, this was the complete guide for entry hazards for the Uber, for the OU, and lastly for the UU tier. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have, I'd recommend liking this video. I'd recommend subscribing to my channel if you really want to go that extra mile, because it really supports me as a content creator. But most importantly, remember to keep on retaliating. Wait, what the fuck? What? Wait. I accidentally clicked battle instead of freaking team builder. God damn it.